Howdy folks, and welcome to Unity of Command by 2x2 Games. A couple of months back in an episode of Mingles with Jingles, I mentioned that I was looking for a good old-fashioned turn-based strategy game. There are plenty of them out there, but a lot of them are very complicated. And I wanted something that was a little bit more beginner-friendly. A number of you made some very useful suggestions, one of which was this, Unity of Command. It's a very beginner-friendly turn-based strategy game set during World War II on the Eastern Front. There are a number of campaign packs available for it, and it's a lot of fun. It is pitched at the beginner, people who don't have a massive amount of experience playing strategy war games, but it is not simple. There are a lot of things that you have to take into account, other than just moving your troops around the map and attacking the enemy. Supply and logistics play a very important factor. Switching to the supply overview, you can see that I've pretty much reached the extent of my supply lines down here in the south for the attack on Brest-Litovsk. So I really do need to capture that place in order to extend my supply lines even further and be able to swing around from the south with Army Group Centre here. On the other hand, up here on the northern flank, these mechanised and armoured divisions have a very good source of supply, so they're actually going to be able to continue their attack over a much greater distance than the forces down to the south, who are going to have to capture Brest-Litovsk in order to be able to continue the attack. With the friendly unit selected, you can see the game will actually predict the chances of success in any given attack. Let's give you an example. Move this infantry division up and you can see that I can expect to lose no battalions while one enemy battalion is expected to die. And that's forced that Soviet infantry, oh wow, completely overrun them as they retreated with the Panzer division. Oh, we're all over these guys. Can we follow it up? Yep. And this is what your Panzer divisions are for. Oh, caught an enemy tank brigade on the river, in the open. We're going to cross the river, follow them up. Let's get some more armoured forces up, finish off this infantry division. Fantastic. And continue the attack. So the attack on the north is going really well. We're managing to encircle and overrun all of these Soviet divisions. In the centre, natural obstacles like the River Bug are proving to be major obstacles, but it's imperative that you get your troops over that river before the Soviet reinforcements can rush forward into the salient and stop you on the river banks. If your troops are caught in the open while crossing a river, they will take major casualties. So I really do have to get these guys over that river and ready to meet the Soviet counterattack as it comes in. Meanwhile, down in Brest-Litovsk, I've caught an enemy tank division as it's crossing the river. We've hit them with an airstrike, attacked with an infantry division, and again I'm going to pull that infantry division back and then follow up with a Panzer division, and that should wipe them out. And there we go. In this early stage of the campaign, as I found out to my cost, the town of Brest-Litovsk really is crucial. It's key to the whole campaign. You have to take it quickly, throw everything that you have at it. Get it captured early on, because the troops that are attacking Brest-Litovsk are right at the extremities of your supply lines, and if they run out of fuel and ammunition, your entire attack is going to fail. And it is a tough nut to crack, because you have to attack it across a river unless you can get your troops around the flanks, but that takes time, and time is something that you don't have. This particular campaign mission only lasts 6 turns. You've got to take Brest-Litovsk. The troops that are attacking it are fighting right at the extremities of your supply lines. They're going to run out of fuel, they're going to run out of ammunition, and you need Brest-Litovsk as a supply base in order to extend the campaign further north and east to the major targets that you have to take in order to successfully conclude this section of the campaign. My forces in the centre and the northern flank, despite the biggest concentration of enemy troops on the map, are really not having much of a problem, and the highly mobile forces that you have in the north, the mechanised and the armoured divisions, are just sweeping around in this big broad flanking move all the way around the top of the map. The guys in the centre, despite facing the bulk of the enemy forces, again not having that much of a problem, but once again it's down south in Brest-Litovsk where the Soviets are throwing the majority of their reinforcements, because they know as well as I do how crucial that place is to the success of this campaign. My forces on the northern flank have actually got it fairly easy. Once they're over the river, it's pretty much plain sailing. Scattered enemy resistance, lots and lots of wide open ground with only a couple of forests to block progress, and of course the forces that I have up to the north are mostly mechanised and armoured divisions, so it's just absolutely ideal territory for them. and with a strong supply base nearby they can continue this rolling attack almost indefinitely. Meanwhile, down in the south, Brest-Litovsk is proving to be a very, very tough nut to crack. The Soviets have not only rushed reinforcements in to help defend the town, but it's protected on three sides by a river, which is making progress very, very difficult. There's also a forest to the north. But I have managed to get troops over the river, and Russian divisions are in retreat. We're overrunning and destroying them as they pull out, but again, it's getting troops over the river that's slowing me down drastically. I've managed to capture a bridge to the east of the town, and I've used that to get panzer divisions around to the rear of the defences. The enemy tank divisions are trying to pull back, but we're just cutting them down as they run, and we cannot quite... it's just proven to be a real pain in the arse dislodging that last infantry division. Elsewhere on the map, in the centre, the Soviet forces are either in full retreat, they're being destroyed where they stand, or they're being cut down as quickly as they can throw reinforcements in. Everything's going really, really well. Meanwhile, down to the south, a combination of panzer and infantry divisions finally overruns the defences in Brest-Litovsk and dislodges that last infantry division. I leave the infantry to mop up, and I extend onwards with the panzers because it's taken me a turn longer than I expected it to capture Brest-Litovsk, and I need to get these troops forward, capture the next logistics base, get the next set of bridges under my control so I can continue the attack on the city of Pinsk and the city of Baranovichi. My forces in the centre have succeeded in completely encircling and annihilating all of the Soviet divisions that were rushed to defend the salient. Meanwhile, back in the south, that extra turn that it took me to get rid of that one last Soviet infantry division and capture Brest-Litovsk and turn it into a logistics base meant that I was forced to pause and resupply and refuel my panzer divisions before they could continue the attack on Pinsk and Baranovichi, and that's cost me time that I couldn't afford to waste. Pinsk is under my control, Baranovichi finally falls to a mechanised infantry division. Minsk is just there. It's the final step in the campaign, but it's tantalisingly out of reach of even my panzer divisions. My one hope is if the forces that were outflanking from the north are within striking distance. But the Red Army have seen the attack coming, and they throw together a scratch formation of badly mauled infantry and tank divisions. At this stage they're just throwing meat into the grinder, but it serves its purpose. It stalls the attack from the northern flank. And once again, despite conquering everything that the Soviets throw up against me, my attack just runs out of steam. Even worse, these panzer divisions have finally overextended their supply lines. They are now out of fuel. We're right within striking distance of Minsk, but the infantry divisions are going to have to go it alone because the panzers have got no fuel left in their tank. It's the final turn of this section of the campaign. I have to take Minsk in this turn. I've got enough fuel left in these panzers for one last dash, and I really, really need to save them for special occasions, and this is it. I'm sending forward the infantry to get rid of those blocking divisions that the Red Army have thrown up in a desperate attempt to hold my forces off from the city of Minsk. The guys that attacked from Brest-Litovsk down in the south, they've managed to resupply and refuel, but they just don't have the range. They can get to within a few kilometres of Minsk, but they just don't have the range to actually be able to engage with the defenders. So that one Soviet infantry division that stubbornly held on to the very last in the town of Brest-Litovsk has just completely stalled my southern campaign. But the fuel that's left in the fuel tanks of the panzers from the north, they are within striking distance of Minsk. They've overrun one infantry division. The second infantry division that was holding the centre of the town has been forced to withdraw, but I just don't have the range. So close, right on the doorstep of Minsk. Completely routed the defending forces, forced them to evacuate the city, but I just cannot get troops into the city itself. So near but so far. And it was all down to that one Soviet infantry division who held on to the last in Brest-Litovsk and cost me this mission. So that is Unity of Command, and 2x2 Games have very generously given me 12 Steam codes so that 12 of you can try this game out for free. It's available on Steam, obviously. The codes get you the core game. There are also at least 2 campaign packs available for it, and I do recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and it's a nice change of pace to a real-time strategy game, and a very, very good introduction to the turn-based strategy genre. If you want a chance of winning one of these codes, then just check out the link in the video description. All I need is your email address. The giveaway will run for 24 hours, and then I will email the winners with their codes, which you can activate on Steam, and get yourself a copy of this great little turn-based strategy game set in World War II on the Eastern Front by 2x2 Games. As always, folks, take care, and I'll catch you next time.